raise your hand if you like chocolate and candy, because woo, I do. So to make it a little easier, a little more fun, to give some candy to your loved ones and your friends, enter lovely Christmas themed treat boxes. You can see this one here has a Christmas tree on the front. And then today we're going to put together a Santa hat one. And then I'm also going to show you how we can modify it in Silhouette Studio to put some holes in the side so you can like hang these from the tree and like leave them there to present your gift. And while we're at it, we're going to be looking at the brand new Silhouette Studio version 5.008, I believe. But the new Studio version 5, which is got a totally different vibe to it. So if you're new here, welcome. I'm Christy here at Crafty Christy's Creations, and I'm here to help you master your silhouette. So without further ado, let's jump into the brand new Silhouette Studio and see if we can get ourselves crafting a little bit easier. Okay, so here we are. You see, things look a little bit different. All of our tools look a little bit different. And then on the right side here, we've got some text that goes with it. And you'll notice the order of everything is a little bit different as well. And across the top here, you have this, what's called starter mode. Right now I have it on. If I turn that off, you'll notice my icons got smaller. So more of them are showing down the side. And then the text that told you what each one was went away. The other thing I want to show you that's really cool, we're going to come over to this home button. And this is the new start screen for Silhouette Studio. These buttons up here, I imagine, are supposed to be like your project start wizard. What is it? New project wizard. I have a feeling like that's what this was supposed to be, but I'm finding so far if I click on these, it doesn't do anything, even though they're clickable. So I'm sure they're still working on some things. But you've got your recent library files. So this is stuff I've used recently. You can also click here and see all. That should take you to your library. Across here are designs that they think that you will like from the Silhouette Design Store. And then when you click on one of those, well, you have to click here to visit the design store. So it's showing things are clickable, but they're not really clickable yet. But you also have some news and updates down the side here. So things to know. I think this is kind of nice that they're showing you that. And then, they're kind of talking to you about the free design of the week and different things like that. So I think that's kind of cool that they're doing things like this. This start menu reminds me a lot if you've ever used Cricut. Theirs is kind of set up like this, which I think is really fun, especially if you want like an easy start, you're new to this, you just want to use designs from the Silhouette Design Store. This is going to be an easy click through when they get that all sorted out. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing. So, design. I have pulled in my Santa hat treat box here, and everything that I create SVG design-wise, I make ready to cut on an 8.5 by 11 sheet paper. So you'll notice the background here is already 8.5 by 11. So that means a lot of especially my 3D designs and my cards come on multiple mats because I want to make this as easy as possible. The other thing you'll notice is that you get some text that goes with my files. And this is to help you set things up. This tells you a little bit about what, that these are score lines, what all the pieces are for, and then some quick assembly instructions. Try to make it real quick and easy for you. So this is the top and the back, or I guess the top and the front of the treat box, and then this gray piece here is your acetate window, so you can see through to the treats. So all you have to do with this one is we're gonna pull that off, pull that away, and then this is ready to send to cut. Nothing we need to modify here. And then on our kind of the bottom of your treat box, this is what we're going to modify. Again, I've got some instructions here. It's funny to me, I create them all the same way. Some of them require you to ungroup. I've also been noticing that I have to click that ungroup button more than once lately before things will actually ungroup. So this is what we're going to work with. I'm going to go ahead and hold down the shift key, and I'm going to rotate. Holding down that shift key will stop at that 90-degree turn, which is exactly what I want. And then I'm going to turn down the transparency so I can see those grid lines all the way through. It just makes it a little bit easier for me to do what we're about to do. And I'm going to align this with the left side. And what we're going to do is create some little holes. So I'm going to come over to my ellipse tool. I'm going to hold down the shift and alt key. And that's going to create my perfect circle. 0.151. I think that should be plenty big. I'm just going to make this a color that is easier to see. We'll do yellow. And when I go to fold this up, I actually need them on this edge and this open edge. Oh my gosh, let's not do that. So let's try this again. I'm going to try to put this right on this. So now we're going to look at our Y values. So I'm going to do this Y equals, that's 5. This is 6, 7. I think we're going to do Y equals 7. Oops, wrong piece. Control Z. Let's make sure we have the correct little circle. Okay, yep. So we're just going to shore this up. Y equals 7. And then you can decide, I'm going to go X equals 0.5. So that's going to bring it in a little further. And then again, to line this one up the same, we're going to do the same thing. Y equals 7. But now from the other end, you'll see we're at 9. So now we're going to do Y equals 8.75. Let's see. Is that right? Because we did, let's look at this one. Math is hard, guys. Just so, yeah, 0.5. So if this comes to 8, so this should actually be Y equals 8.5. Okay. Listen, math is not my strong suit, so please forgive me as I struggle. So we have those lined up. We did the X and Y value. Again, if you wanted to make absolutely sure, we could grab those and then we can align them and they look beautiful. So again, let's grab our base. We'll grab our little dots or circles, and now we're going to hit subtract. So that looks good. I'm going to rubber band select everything. We're going to group that together, Control plus G. Now I can turn that back on its side, and now it is ready for cutting. I'm going to use my electrostatic mat. I've got my 8.5 by 11 size cardstock. And we can go over to the send panel. So here you've got this guide that you can go through and it'll walk you through, okay, I'm going to use my Cameo 5. I want it to connect. My firmware is up to date. That's awesome. Now it's going to walk you through your setting summary. And you can just change what all this is. So I'm using tool holder 1. I'm doing cardstock. Continue. Oh, and because it seems like you can only do this in like the do everything at once, but that's okay. I'm just going to tell it I want it to auto cut. Continue with the auto blade. Continue. And then everything's like set up. And then you could just hit continue. And then I think if you hit continue, it'll probably send it. So I don't want to do that because we need to come over to this cut by line color. But I wanted to show you, like, it'll guide you through and ask you all the questions to make sure you set it up. Or you can come to the standard. The standard is like cut everything on the screen, and then you have your cut by line color, cut by fill color, cut by layer. So we're going to use our cut by line color. The white lines are going to be scores. I like to do that first, so I just pulled that up to the top. We've got our material set up. We're going to score. And then I like that blade depth of 1. That looks good. And then we're going to cut that cardstock. And here I like the blade depth of 4. Everything else I leave alone. Okay, we got that sorted out. And now let's go and get everything set up on the machine. Okay, I'm going to use my electrostatic mat. I'm going to get this set up on the edge here. We'll go ahead and turn that on. It doesn't take long to get stuck down. Nothing's moving. That looks good. We can go ahead and load in. Come on. And then all we have to do is come back to our machine, to the computer, and then we've got it all set up. I'm just going to hit send. And you'll notice it doesn't give you that like, hey, let's make sure one more time before you do that. It's going to go ahead and just go straight to cutting, which I think is cool. So I'm not going to make you sit here and watch it cut everything out. I'll be back when everything's cut out. Okay, we're back. I got my little acetate piece and my 2 parts cut out here. And what I have here are just some double-sided tape strips. So I have, I bought sheets of this double-sided tape, and I'm going to do a video here soon to kind of show you some tricks of why this stuff is awesome. But I just cut some small strips so that we can use that to adhere our acetate behind this. And that's the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and just get this placed behind there. So here are my little double-sided tape. And all I'm going to do is just try to peel this so the yellow backing is what's the easiest part to come off. They make this like double-sided tape. You can also just get it in rolls of tape, which I'm sure you've seen me use before. And getting this stuff started is the hardest part. But once you can get it started, this gets a lot easier. Okay, there we go. Jeez. Oh, and this time it stuck to the yellow. That's funny. Usually I have a hard time sticking it to the yellow, but I'm just going to bring it on here. I'm going to try to get it nice and close to that edge. The nice part about this is when it's in the strips, you can easily just tear the edge off. It does not have to look pretty because no one's going to see this part. So I'm just going to put that little bit of tape just right as close to the edge as I can get it, because we don't want it to be in the way of our design. And I can use every little piece on here. And if I can get it in the right place, that'd be great. And the cool thing is if it like gets in the wrong spot, you can just kind of bunch it up like I just did, and that makes it a lot easier. And then the edges have a little bit more of the yellow than the white to make it easier, but once you start like cutting them up, it gets a little bit more difficult to grab the release paper. So I know this is fun and tedious watching me do this, but if you like these treat boxes, I just created the Christmas tree one. Let me show this to you. So there's the Christmas tree window. These are 3x3, 3" by 3" square boxes. And then I've got the Santa hat for Christmas. And then I've got a Valentine's Day one with hearts on it. And I've got the Clover one for St. Patrick's Day. But let me know if you like these. I'm happy to make more of them. They're so quick and easy to put together that these are really fun for gift giving. Maybe I should do a like ones with like cake and balloons and stars for birthdays. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know in the comments if you think we should create more of these different types of treat boxes, because they are, other than playing with this release paper, these are really easy to create. You know, it took me you're only cutting 2 sheets of cardstock and then some little laminate pieces, so it doesn't take but a moment. I'm going to go ahead and just fold these score lines so I know where my lines are at. And then all I have to do is line this up, and I'm just going to try to make sure that the tape is not, well, now I'm committed. But you want to just make sure that tape's not to the edge. So ideally, I mean, these are supposed to be centered on here, but I've realized I should have cut my tape. The nice thing is I cut the tape, so I should have cut it shorter. So I have a little bit of tape showing through here. The nice part is I can easily come through here with my weeding tool or, you know, any kind of sharp edge, and I can just peel up the excess tape, just kind of wad it into a ball and get that out of there, so it's really not even a problem. The reason I'm using this double-sided tape, you could also use like a tape runner. I think that would work just fine. But if you used a liquid glue, it would take forever for that glue to dry between this porous cardstock and non-porous plastic. So that's why I like this kind of tape. Okay, so that's done. Let's go ahead and just fold on the rest of these score lines. So on this, you'll notice this flap here is a lot larger than these other side flaps. So that is the part that's going to go into the back of your box here, which is like your tab, so you can open the box. So that's how you know which is the front and which is the back. That's the piece where you're going to open it. We've got this piece here. Let's go ahead and just fold all of our score lines again. Okay, so this goes together like this. And then again, remember I said you've got this larger score line tab here. That is what is going to meet up with this half circle to make it easier to lift that out. So this side here is what's going to get attached here. But I like to go ahead and start forming that box shape first with these. So you can either use more of the double-sided tape or tape runner. I like to do a little bit of liquid glue so that I've got some room, some wiggle room in case I don't get it right the first time. I can just kind of readjust the way this looks. So all I'm going to do is slide this over, try to get my edges nice and flush here on the side. And then you can just kind of hold that together for a moment. I've got my finger on the inside there, just holding that together. Or you can just lay it flat. Make sure those edges are nice and flush, and then just press your finger through the inside here and just really give that a good press. So that's nice and flush on the edge there. We're going to do the same thing on the other side here. So again, I'm just going to add some glue to this glue tab. And then we'll just slide that under. And again, just pushing those edges to make sure everything's nice and flush. And then using my table to help me just press things down. And then just really just checking these edges. You want these to be nice, sturdy edges. So that way everything's going to fit well. And then if you need to like paint some more glue in there because you just don't have enough, grab a scrap piece of cardstock. And put a little glue on this scrap. And then this edge right here is like lifting up. So I can come in here with that, paint some glue on there, and then that's really going to help hold that corner together. When you're creating boxes, especially boxes you're going to put something in, you want to make sure all of those corners are really, really well connected. Because if they're not, that's going to be a weak spot for you where your box can start to come apart. And we definitely don't want that, especially because these treats are heavy. Okay, so we've got this part put together, and now we can bring in this side. So again, I just got the larger flap, so you have a blank top. And then you've got your design here, which goes on the front. And it's going to go just like that. And look at that. I did not consider those glue tabs. So just know I will fix the file so that you cannot see those glue tabs when you go to put this together. That's really embarrassing. So what I'm going to do to modify that right now is just cut these glue tabs a little bit shorter in those areas. I will definitely fix that. So you do not have to do this, but I'm just going to come in here and cut a chunk out of that glue tab so you can't see it. Let's make sure. Yeah, that looks good. And then this one. Down here. This is what I get for rushing trying to create designs. Okay, we fixed that, but that's how those are going to fit. So again, this one has the acetate behind it. So I'm, again, for these pieces, I'm going to use the double-sided tape on these tabs. So let me see if I can get these to come off, the liners. And I'm probably going to do two that stuck right on my finger. Cool. 2 strips of the liner to cover everything, just to help that structure stay really well secure on there. All right. because just like with our liquid glue, again, you're doing side walls. You want to make sure that your side walls are nice and secure. So I'm just going to add some more of this on here. And again, it doesn't have to be pretty. This part, no one's going to see. This is all tucked in on the inside of the box. And nobody's really staring at the inside of the box once they get the goodies out, you know? Okay, so here's this one. Let's get this. Come on. Okay, so there's that tab. Again, this part here, I can just kind of roll that back so it's not in that opening. And then we can put some over on this side as well. Okay, got that all taped up. And then this is going to go on there like that. I am going to go ahead and just put some glue down here on this base. And then you probably just want to do this base part first before you do those sides. So what I'm going to do is just try to, actually this might be easy to just grab all of this and kind of do it at once, because this top is just going to slide in, those sides slide in. You don't put glue on those tops. The bottom here gets pressed on. So now you can just kind of line that up, press in these sides, and just kind of press everything down like that. The sides that have the tape are going to be real easy to get your finger in there and just press those down. And then I'm just going to fold that back so you can see. And then for the bottom, I can just get my hand in there and really just squeeze from the outside and just press that bottom in to make sure it's nice and flush down the side. And then these sides are that double-sided tape. So you just give those a nice good press. Okay, so the box is complete. Everything looks good. These top edges fold in. And then all three top edges you do not want to glue. All of those edges are going to fold into the box. And then there is your Santa hat box. But we put those sides, the holes in the side. So now what we can do is go ahead and feed some ribbon in through the sides. So you might just have to kind of crumple up the edges to fold those in. And then this has snowflakes on it, so I'm just going to turn that so that way my snowflakes will show when I go around. I'm just going to pull that ribbon through far enough that I can make a little knot. I guess you could have made your knot and then pulled it through. That would have been smart. Okay. Come on, can't seem to grab it. Okay, so there's my little knot. Go ahead and just pull that so it's tucked in on the inside. This, I've got plenty to go around. I'm just gonna, again, fold this edge. I have to fold it a couple times. I'm gonna come from the outside and stick that through from the outside. And I'm trying to make sure that as I do this, when I go to do my knot, make sure that everything's like going the right way in case you have pretty graphics like this, like I do. I have snowflakes on here. You want to make sure those are going to be showing. So you have to keep that in mind as you're looping things around. And then go ahead and pull enough of that through to make your knot. Oops. Shoot. Come on. Pulled too far. Come on. There it is. Okay, there's my knot for that side. So you want to make sure that you're just going to use enough. So I just kind of eyeballed when I cut it to make sure that it would go. I just kind of like eyeballed side to side, saw how much I wanted to loop, and then just pulled a little bit more to make sure that it would have room to tie knots. And then there you go. So now it's ready to hang. So let's test it out. We'll take some of the candies. Again, this is a 3x3, so like I have so much candy here that I was able to put into these. Like it's a little bit crazy. You might decide you don't want to completely fill it up. Well, there you go. What do you think? This turned out super, super cute. Again, I will go back and fix the issues on that one so you don't have to cut the flaps that go around that front. But again, I've got the Santa hat, and I have the Christmas tree. So these are ready for Christmas. I have a Valentine's Day one, and then also a St. Patrick's Day one that you can try out as well. But make sure you give this video a like, go ahead and subscribe. We'll be diving more into the Silhouette version 5 to get you more acquainted with it. But I thought you would like that first look. So, all right, finish all your Christmas crafts, and I'll see you in the new year. Bye!